Hello, adventurers! This is Zed with ZXS Gaming, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. Tips, tricks, how-tos, guides, and other shenanigans. Today, we are going to take a look at retainers and how to open them up to send them out for missions. What's called a venture. Once you have retainers in each capital city, you'll see a quest like this. It's called an ill-conceived venture, and basically, like I said, there's a quest like this in Limsa, there's a quest like this in Ul'dah. All these quests do the same thing, so it doesn't matter which one you do. She's never ignored a summons before. Beg your pardon, sir, but will you be willing to aid a fellow adventurer? It's about my retainer. She has returned from her latest adventure to 9 Ivies, and I fear something terrible may have happened. I would track her down myself if I could, but I have an important appointment I must needs keep. Like what, getting your hair done? Mayhap you could go and search in my stead. So basically this is the same, no matter where you are, you'll get sent after an NPC. So she should be over here. Yep. Alright. It's a pretty simple little quest. You go and find where the person is. They've got a purple circle around them, which of course means... Yep. All right. Bless you, adventurer. So focused was I on my task that I took no notice of the buzzards at my back. You seem confused. Have you heard not of ventures? It's a service in which we retainers carry out procurement expeditions on behalf of our employers. Alas, some are not wont to furnish us with sufficient equipment, despite the obvious benefits it would afford both parties. Ah, has he been summoning me this entire time? Pray excuse me. Forgive me, master, I was waylaid by beasts. Yes, by a heron bard. How did you know? Of course, as you wish. It seems I must take my leave at once, but before I go, pray allow me to thank you. I have naught but to recompense you with, but should you inform my supervisor, Parnell, of your deeds, I am confident she will see fit to reward you. May we meet again, my friend, and do not forget to visit Parnell in the Shaded Bower. And that's pretty much it. We head back. Since this is a level 17 quest and you get retainers at level 17, you can do this immediately upon getting your retainers, but you don't have to. Alright. Greetings, sir. I've been expecting you. The retainer you rescued was most effusive in her praise. Apparently they had the thesaurus out again. Retainers are, of course, permitted to refuse a venture which they determine to be too dangerous. Alas, this particular young woman is new to the profession and was thus easily persuaded by her employer to accept. Beg your pardon? You want to know more about adventures? Certainly, it would be my pleasure to explain. In cooperation with the Adventurers Guild, we have established a new system through which retainers may be dispatched to procure items for their employers. Should you wish to avail yourself of this additional service, you'll need to pay your retainer in advance with ventures, scripts issued by the Adventurers Guild. Here, pray accept these complimentary ventures with my thanks. Bear in mind that most retainers lack the skill to carry out the most menial of tasks. Of course, as they grow more experienced, that will change. If this sounds daunting, let me assure you that it is simple in practice. Why not speak with your retainers and see what they think? All right. You may now dispatch your retainers on ventures. Let's use this one over here. All right. Before you can do, however, you must first assign them a class. Upon summoning a retainer, select Assign a Class from the Retainer menu to begin. Okay, so I've got two retainers here. So we're going to select my first retainer, Choppa. So assign class. Yes, yes, yes. All right. So you have a couple choices here. First of all, you can assign them gathering classes. And basically the missions you'll be able to send them on are going to pretty much, get the stuff that you would get from those gathering classes. So if you assign them a miner, they'll be able to get mining goods. If you assign them a botanist, they'll be able to get botanist goods. Or you can assign them a damage class. Now, the class can only, be something that you yourself have access to, and no matter what class you assign them, they will get experience points and they will level up. But they can only level up to as high as you are. So if you assign them a miner and you're miner level 5, they can only be level up to miner level 5. So we're going to assign him an archer. Now, all of the DPS classes are the same as far as what they can get. And basically what all fighting classes get is the stuff that drops from monsters. For instance, leather. If you want leather, you're going to need a DPS class to get it. So let's do archer. Okay. As a disciple of war and magic, your retainer will be able to undertake hunting and field exploration ventures. Yes, proceed. Okay, you become an archer. You must now equip a main arm to your retainer. Select view retainer attributes and gear from the menu to proceed. So once again, you have to at least give them a little bit of gear. Okay. Now you notice they have all of the gear slots. And you do want to keep the retainer's gear up to date as they level, because the better their properties are, the more stuff they bring back and the more stuff they have access to bring back. So I picked up a level 1 bow. So let's give it to him. Okay. So now you can assign a venture. There are two main types of ventures which you can assign to your retainer. Hunting, mining, botany, and fishing constitute one type, in which you specify an item for your retainer to procure. So this is going out and getting a specific item. And then you have exploration. There your retainer will basically just go out and wander around and look for higher quality items, but basically this is what you're really doing to get XP. Although there are a few items that come from these exploration ventures that you can't get any other way. Okay. However, your retainer will not undertake a venture without first receiving due compensation, which is the currency ventures. Ventures can be acquired through different ways. You can get them from the levy objectives. You can get them from fates. Pretty sure. No, I'm sorry, you can't get them from fates. The most way that I get them is using company seals. You can turn in company seals to your grand company and buy ventures. You can also turn in your wolf marks from PvP and turn those in and buy ventures. Okay, so let's look. So field exploration, this is just, you don't specify what you're looking for. It's just an 18-hour, it costs 2 ventures, which right now we have 6 because that's what we got for finishing the mission. And this is, you know, going to bring back hopefully a good item and a lot of XP. You're really doing this for the XP most of the time. Then you have hunting. And this is a similar story, you know, if you think about mining or what's the other one? Botany. I forget what they call it. I call it herbing. But, all right. Mining or botany. You're bringing back a specific item, and you will have access to the items based on the level of your retainer. So as your retainer levels up, he's going to get access to get different things. So right now, all he can get is an animal skin. So I'm going to go ahead and send him on a field exploration because I want to get him some levels. After you get a few levels, there's a third one that you will have access to that's called a quick exploration. That's only a 1-hour deal. And that one is similar to the field exploration, except for, you know, it's a lot faster. It's more expensive because it's basically, you know, 2 ventures for just an hour. But that, again, is going to get you a lot of XP. All right. And... okay. Now, the only thing to kind of note is when you are out on a venture, when it says in progress, the strange part is it won't let you change the gear again. So if you go into here and you try to change gear, it'll say unavailable. And that's just because he's out on a venture. And for the longest time, it took me forever to figure that out. So now really the only question to ask yourself is, if you've got several retainers, what do I make all of them? And from experience, I can tell you the miner is really good because you can use a lot of ingredients from mining in crafting. The botanist is really good. I would probably put those at the top 2 level. The hunter, you know, any kind of the DPS classes is maybe a little bit lower level, but it's going to, you know, feed you all of the leather and a lot of the food ingredients. And then probably the one that's the least useful would be the fisherman. And that's just because you really don't use fish as much. The only thing the fisherman does have going for it is that later on, there are certain things that you get from the explorations in fishing that you can only get from the explorations in fishing, like certain pets and stuff. So that can bring fishing back into the fold as far as being very strong. So if you have lots of retainers, just, you know, spread it out, get one of each, and that way you'll have access to as much as you can. All right. Hope this was informative, and Please do all the things. Leave a like, subscribe, and if you have any comments, leave them in the comments section, or any comments or questions or ideas for things that you would like to see me do a guide on. Other than that, thanks for hanging out with me today, and hope you have a fantastic rest of your day.